was reminded of was a while back, I'd say maybe 10 or so years ago. I remember I went to this church planting conference it was in Kansas City, and that was one conference where I was just kind of like, man, I really wasn't for a lot of the things that were being presented. Reasons for that, most of the reason for that I don't have to go into that. But aside from those other things, one of the things that I was noticing when I was there, these conferences, you have several different speakers, and each speaker has their segment, their 30 or 40-minute segment, and they'd have someone before they came up to speak to introduce them. This is so-and-so, and this is, they're pastor of this church, and, they're responsible for this and that sort of thing. And there were like maybe 2 or 3 people throughout the conference who would switch off in introducing these different speakers. But one of the things that I noticed as they were introducing these people, it seemed like to me, and I don't know if anybody else felt this way, it seemed so much to me that their introductions for these people was like over the top. If I could maybe excuse the term, but it just seemed like these people had a spiritual crush on these people, and it was all based on oh, this person is so amazing, and like he's planted this many churches in this state, and he's planted this many, like there's like where he's gone here, there's been like 3,000 conversions, and so, oh, he's just so amazing. Oh, he's just such an amazing guy, and oh, it's like I said, it was just over the top. I'm like, can we just tone it down just a little, just a little bit on this sort of thing? And that was the one thought in my mind. The other thought in my mind, and it was one that was dominating a little bit more, is like, that's not them. What happened to the glory of God in all of this? Yes, they were used as instruments to have all of those things, whatever happened in those areas where they're planting churches, where they're preaching the gospel, where there's conversions that are happening. But it just seemed like everybody was just gushing and just gaga over this guy and that guy and all sorts of other things. And it's like, okay, yeah, maybe they were obedient to God's call. Maybe they were following the direction that God was going. But it's just like, ultimately, at the end of the day, God was the one that was driving the ship in this whole thing. Shouldn't he be the one who gets the glory and the credit for all of this? When you see things, such amazing things as that, doesn't all glory, honor, and praise go to him, to the King of the ages, immortal, invisible, the only God, be honor and glory forever and ever. Amen. Not to this guy named Tom. I'm sure Tom's a nice guy. Not to this guy named Bill. I'm sure Bill's a great guy. I don't think you have to gush over him, though. My goodness. The glory doesn't belong to them. It belongs to God himself. He's the one who does it all. And he did that for whatever they did through this person's ministry or that person's ministry. He did a wonderful work in us, did a wonderful work in the Apostle Paul, and he continues to do a wonderful work. And all of that is just a display of his great work and his great power.